All right, so Algebra 1, we're back to Zoom. Today's date is Wednesday, December 2nd, and oh, that's not good. My tablet is trying to write on both screens at the same time, so I have half of my tablet right. I'll have to fix that for next class. Yeah, today's date is December. Whoa, it's going to be really awkward writing this because everything is scaled. Okay, maybe I'll have to fix that. December 2nd, 2020. Okay, I can't. Hold on. I'm not going to be able to write like that. Let's do settings. Sorry, guys. I've never done this before. Mapping. No, I want just monitor 1. There we go. Whew. All right, that was an easy fix. Yeah, we're doing system of equations with substitution. So our objective is the same thing. It's not really worth re-mentioning. It's just solving using substitution. So you've already had one tool that you've used so far, and that was in lesson 5-1, and that was by graphing. So I can come down here and say, you already know how to solve by graphing. And you just make 2 lines, 1 line, 2 lines, and wherever they cross, that was the solution. And then today we're doing the second of your tools, which is substitution. And I'll do this in a different color because we haven't learned this yet, but this is in the future. The last method that we're going to learn is called elimination. And I'll say this, these last 2 methods, these are both just using algebra. So they're algebraic. That means manipulating symbols in a special way to get an answer, whereas graphing, that was graphical. That was using the coordinate plane, right? So we can say that was graphical. That was more picture-based, like, oh, where they cross is the answer instead of x equals 5. By the end of today, you'll say x equals 5, y equals 3, or something like that. There's no graph that goes along with it. So the goal of today is to get an equation with 1 variable. That's kind of the goal with substitution and elimination. So with 1 variable, and you'll notice that when you start out with your problems, if I scroll down here, look at this system. This system has an x variable, an x variable, a y variable, an x variable, a y variable. There are 2 types of variables there, an x and a y. We don't want that. We want 1 equation, 1 variable. This has 2 equations and 2 variables. There has to be some technique to boil it down into 1 equation and 1 variable. That's kind of the goal of substitution. Both substitution and elimination satisfy this goal. All right, so here is our general procedure. If you just kind of follow this step by step, you'll always get it correct. First, you're going to isolate for a variable. So isolate for a variable. And you might ask, which variable? There are 4 to choose from. And my answer to you is do whichever one is easiest. If you scroll down and see example 1, I already have solved for a variable. X is isolated. There's just 1 x. If there's 5x, that's not isolated, but there's just x here. So that's, we're already done with step 1. The next step number 2, is to plug into the other equation. Plug in to the other equation. So, and I'm doing the steps and I'm jumping back and forth between the procedure and example 1. So we've already done step 1. So if you want to, in your mind, say, okay, check. We've solved for the variable. X is equal to 2y minus 6. That's perfect. We are now going to plug into the other equation. So wherever I see an X in this equation up here, I'm going to replace this X with 2y minus 6 because x and 2y minus 6 are the same thing. So I'm going to basically rewrite this equation underneath. I'm going to say, okay, this was 5. Okay, this giant set of parentheses was the x. So I just wrote 5x, and then I'm going to keep rewriting the rest of this. Minus 2y is equal to 10. This is the exact same equation, except I've left x as a kind of a big empty set of parentheses, being ready for my substitution. And what is x? X is 2y minus 6. Yeah, Jose.
Doesn't it have to be a positive 6 because it's a positive 10? And yeah.
Not necessarily, no. Yeah, this could be positive 6, negative 6. It doesn't matter what it is. In fact, if it's a positive 6, it'll just be a different answer, but it will still work.
Okay.
Okay, so 2y minus 6 is x, so I'm going to write out my 2y minus 6 in the place of x. I have done my substitution. And you'll notice, even though it's kind of gross, it has some parentheses, it looks like I'm going to have to distribute this 5 in a second. Look at this equation. Notice that I have one equation. There's only one equal to sign. There's not two of these anymore. I've combined these two using substitution into one equation. And not only is it one equation, it's one equation that has only one type of variable. There's only a y, there's no x's. We have satisfied this goal. Look up here. The goal was to get an equation with one variable. And we did that with substitution. This is an equation with one variable. Okay, well, now we need to actually solve for that variable. What is y? And that's step number 3, right? We need to solve. What is y? So we can check off step 2. We plugged it in and solve for y. And this is where I'm going to need some help. This is using your unit 1 skills. How do I solve for y? Braden?
Subtract 2 by both sides.
Subtract 2. Are you trying to get rid of this 2y right here?
Yeah.
Okay, so you, not quite. So if we subtract 2y, I mean, if we subtract 2, that's not exactly the right term here. It should be a 2y, and 2y and 10 won't add up together, so it's not quite right. And I can help us by writing out PEMDAS as a review, PMDAS. So when we solve equations, first we have to simplify everything. We do this order of operation. So this is to simplify. And then after we simplify, then we start undoing. We undo or we solve. So we haven't done this step yet. We haven't simplified because I still see this letter. I still see some parentheses that I need to work with. Yeah, Alden?
So you times 5 times 2y and minus 6.
Exactly, yeah. So do you remember the name of doing this where you multiply twice?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah, it's called distribute. Yeah, you're distributing the 5, so you're doing 5 times 2y, 5 times negative 6. And what is that, Alden?
It's 10y minus 30.
That's 30. Perfect. And I'm going to go ahead and rewrite the minus 2y is equal to 10. Perfect. And notice that I still haven't done all of the simplifying yet. I still haven't gone down with PEMDAS. I still have like terms. I have this, I don't know which, some of these terms on the left-hand side are going to be added up or subtracted from each other. Can someone help me simplify that left-hand side? Yeah, Giorgio.
Add the negative 2y to the 10y, so it's just 8y.
There it is, yeah. 8y came from the 10y minus the 2y, and I still have the minus 30 is equal to 10. All right, so we are now officially done with the simplification. There's nothing that I can simplify on the left. Those are not like terms. I can't simplify anything on the right. It's still 10. So now that I've done all the simplification, now I need to start undoing things that are done to y in the reverse order. So I need to first get rid of any addition or subtraction that I see on the side with the variable. So what am I going to do, Jose?
Plus 30 on both sides.
There it is. So plus 30 plus 30. And what is our new equation going to be, Jose?
8y is equal to 40.
Is equal to 40. Perfect. We're almost done. Last step to solve for y.
Divide both sides by 8.
Oh, yep, that works. Thank you. Divide both sides by 8.
Oh wait, I thought you called me, sorry.
No, it's okay. I didn't clarify. I should have said someone new. So that's perfect. All right, divide both sides by 8. And what do you get, Jose?
Y equals 5.
Y is equal to 5. There it is. And it's not too common of a mistake, but it is a mistake to think that we're done, because if you remember from our graphing days, whenever we had a system of equations, so if we had a coordinate plane and we had one line right there and maybe another line right there, we got an answer that was the intersection of those two lines. This point right here has an x coordinate and a y coordinate, which means our answer should have an x coordinate and a y coordinate. We found the y coordinate, which means we're halfway done. And you'll notice if we come back up here to our steps, we are only on step number 3, which we have done now. We have now solved for that one variable. What am I talking about right down here? Plug in and solve. I get to plug in this y is equal to 5 into either one of these y's, whichever one you think is going to be easiest, and then solve that equation. So I personally think that maybe this bottom equation is going to be easier because I'm just going to simplify the right-hand side and then I'll be done. Versus if I had to plug in up here, then I'd have to plug it in, add it to both sides, divide by 5. There's a lot of extra steps that I have to do in number 1. But I'll say this, if you plug in this 5 into either of these two equations, you will get the same answer. It does not matter which one you plug it into, just do whichever one is easier. So I've already said I'm going to plug into x is equal to 2y minus 6. So let me go ahead and rewrite that equation down here. I have the second equation. Maybe I'll do a little wiggly line. I have x is equal to 2, and I'm going to do an empty parentheses, 2y minus 6. That was the original equation, right? Yeah, 2y minus 6. And in the place of y, this is going to be a 5. And I can maybe draw a little arrow saying, hey, that 5 went right there. That was our substitution yet again. All right, I need another volunteer. Can someone simplify? I see one hand, two hands. Yeah, Zeke.
So you would, like, parentheses first, 2, split it into there. You'd have x equals 10 minus 6, which you can simplify, subtract 10 by 6, or 10 minus 6, and you'll have x equals 4.
4. There it is. Thank you. So we can kind of circle both of those answers because they're used. X or y is equal to 5 and x is equal to 4. Those were the two pieces of our answer, which means as our final answer, what we put was we put 4 comma 5, because you should always be saying your x comma y. The answer to this system is 4 comma 5, or in Khan Academy, sometimes they just enter just the x and then just the y. Either way, just know that your answers has the x coordinate is 4 and the y coordinate is 5. Okay, that was the first of our 2 examples. I'm going to do another one on the backside. But before I move on, does anyone have questions on how we did example number 1? Okay, then even better, give me your fist of 5 understanding on example 1 in your cameras. Seeing 3, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. And Carlos, ¿cuántos dedos
Cuatro.
entiendes?
Cuatro.
4. Okay, thank you.
She has 4.
All right, then we're moving on to example number 2. If you guys need me to scroll back up at any time, just shout out. I'll go back up. And at the very end of the lesson, I'll just put up both pages like this. I'll go boom. But for now, let's do example number 2. So solve this system of equations. And yet again, I gave you an easy one. You already have the variable isolated. Step 1, again, has already been done. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys work for a few minutes and try to do the same steps that we did in example 1, and then I'll go back through it with you guys. Someone tell me, what did you do for your first step? Quiet raised hands. Preferably someone new. I see one hand. Oh, only one person knows how to do this. That's not good. Still only one hand. Yeah, okay. Go for it, Braden.
I did, first step is 3, and then I did the parentheses plus 4y equals 12.
3 in parentheses plus 4y is equal to 12.
And then I put 2x plus 14 in the parentheses.
2x plus 14. I'm seeing a problem here. I wonder if anyone else sees it too. Because I'm looking at our original goal. Our goal is to get one equation, which you got, with one variable. And it looks like your equation has 2 variables. It has an x and a y still.
Oh,
I wonder what went wrong. Can someone help us out? What's going on here? Yeah, Zeke?
So because it says y equals set equation, you would put that equation in replacement for y. Because 2x plus 14 equals y, not x.
Okay, so we were putting x as the empty parentheses. We should have had y for the empty parentheses because it was a y equals down here.
okay.
Okay, so let's go ahead and try that one more time. So I'm doing Braden's steps again. So it was going to be now a 3x plus 4. Now the open set of parentheses is equal to 12. We rewrote our first equation. And then in the set of parentheses here, as Zeke said, since it's a y, that should be our 2x plus 14. 2x plus 14. And checking, okay, we have one equation, obviously. And yes, we only have one variable. Give ourselves a pat on the back. We have the goal completed. That was the hardest part of this. Well, maybe the hardest part. And now we have to do some math to solve. All right. Thank you, Braden. Thank you, Zeke. What do I do next? Yeah, Jose?
I did it that way, but I put the 3x in the other side of the equation. Not in the 12, but before to get to the 12. Like,
So what did you have on the right side then?
I wrote it 4 parentheses 2x plus 14 parentheses plus 3x.
Okay, yeah, that works too. It's still the same equation. Like, because there's a plus sign, these can be changed on either side of the plus sign. That's perfect. All right. We need to simplify both sides of the equal sign. I mean, the right side is simplified, can't do anything, but this left-hand side can be simplified before we solve. How do we simplify that? And I would like to hear from new people if possible. Diego?
So first you distribute 4 times 2x, then 4 times 14.
Okay, and what is that when you distribute?
That would be 8x plus 56.
56. Cool, thank you. I'll rewrite the rest of this is equal to 12. All right, Diego gave us our first step for simplifying, but yet again, there is a second step to simplify that left-hand side of the equation. What do I do next? I see a hand. Wait, I want to try to get more people in. If you have not participated today, please try to get your hand in. No? Okay, so we'll go with Alden.
So, you add the 8x and 3x.
Perfect, and you get?
11x.
There it is, 11x. And then I'll rewrite the rest of this. Plus 56 is equal to 12. All right, and we have officially simplified both sides, and now it is time to solve. How am I going to solve? What do I do here? Giorgio?
Subtract 56 to 12, and it would be negative 44.
Negative 44. What's the left-hand side of the equation now?
Is equal to 11x.
There it is. 11x's are left over. Nice, nice. All right. And we have one last step to solve for x. What do we do to both sides? Diego?
We divide 11x. We divide 11 and negative 44.
What are we dividing by?
We divide by 11.
11. Got it. Okay. Divide by 11. That crosses off with the 11. And therefore, x is equal to what, Diego?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. All right, cool. We'll circle that. That is half of our answer. We got the x coordinate. We need to find the y coordinate now. So we're doing good. I'm trying to figure out what is our next step. How do we find the y coordinate? Yeah, Ashley?
So you would do the second equation that's right there, and it'll be y equals 2. But instead of the x, you would put 4 and then plus 14.
Plus 14, exactly, yeah. And you can substitute into either one of them. I agree that the second equation is going to be easier. There's less math to do. Yeah, perfect, thank you. All right, I need another volunteer. Let's see. People are getting in here. Oh, 47, she's not here anymore. So I haven't heard from Ripley or Carlos yet. Do either of you gentlemen want to try to solve this one?
I wasn't here. No, really.
Okay. I mean, you can still solve this, right? 2 times negative 4.
Yeah.
What is 2 times negative 4?
Negative 8.
Negative 8. That's still doing plus 14. And then finally, what's negative 8 plus 14, Ripley?
Would that be 12?
Not quite. So you're doing 14, and then you count down 8.
Oh, 6.
6. There it is. Nice. Y is equal to 6. That's the second half of the answer. And then we write our final answer. Our final answer is negative 4 comma 6. And I should put that in parentheses. That is the coordinate of the point of intersection of those 2 points. Cool. And then we're done. So that is our lesson. Can everyone really quickly give me a fist of 5 on our objective? How well do you think you can solve a system equation using substitution? Diego's at 4. We have Giorgio 5. 4, 4, 4, 5. I think that's a 4. No, 5 from Jose. Nice. And then Carlos, what do you got?
4.
All right, cool. We are done with the notes. You still need to be in Zoom, but now you can turn your cameras off and you should be working on the homework on Khan Academy. It's just one assignment today. And if you have any missing assignments, please work on those after you finish the homework for today.